Global temperatures are expected to continue at or near record levels for the next 5 years.
Nearly half of humanity is living in the danger zone now.
But we have to act with more urgency.
Anything happens, they're going to wipe them off the face of this earth.
Russia has invaded Ukraine by land, air and sea.
China has identified the cause of a mysterious new virus.
Coronavirus.
There are fears a rapidly spreading virus has reached Australia.
Britain should have been better prepared for such an outbreak.
You must stay at home.
The GCHQ department tasked with stopping ransomware attacks say they're dealing with at least one incident every day.
Ongoing cyber attacks across the country.
The Doomsday Clock is a tool for communicating how close we are to destroying the world with technologies of our own making. And we are running out of time. It is a hard truth, but this is our reality. It is now 85 seconds to midnight.
Sound.
If you could just start by giving us an introduction to yourself and some of your military background.
Okay, yeah, so my name's Tom. I served for 25 years in the Parachute Regiment, regular army, in One Power and the Pathfinders, and I was in the Red Devils for a little while as well. It's a shame that people see the word prepper as being a negative thing, because being prepared is not a bad thing, is it? You know, like I say, if you're walking down the road and making just a quick assessment of stuff that's going on, as opposed to having earphones in and a hood up and not seeing or hearing anything, then you're doing something sensible. And why would you not want to be prepared for your family? I think a lot of people in the UK live in a bit of a bubble where they're kind of just used to take for granted everything that you get.
Yeah.
Yeah, throughout my service in the military, you know, a place like Afghanistan and Iraq and that, it just makes you realise how, you know, how bad things can go.
Yeah.
And I don't think people in this country would deal with it very well, to be honest. It seems to be in this country, if you're called a prepper or you call yourself a prepper, then people expect you to be a tin-foil hat-wearing nutcase, which isn't always the case. Some of them are quite paranoid. They want to keep everything to themselves, and they can be quite suspicious about other people and what their motives are. There are various people, and I won't name names, that put videos out there, scaremongering, fear-mongering. It's a bit of like, look at me, I'm in charge, I know everything, whereas actually some of them actually don't know an awful lot. Kit prep is something that a lot of preppers concentrate solely on, and that's because it's easy to spend money if you've got money at least, and people take comfort from having a load of stuff and, you know, hoarding things. It's not the most important thing, but yes, it's probably a good idea that you have a few things that are going to help you in a bad scenario.
Yeah, and in your personal opinion, what might be some of those scenarios in the current climate?
So in the current climate, a nuclear bomb dropping on this country, because the Russians threaten us with that relatively often nowadays. And I'm not saying that is something that's going to happen, but it's not out of the realms of the unexpected anymore. Nowadays, it's not always just going to be a physical war. Before you've even stepped foot in a country, or you don't need to step foot in a country, you could disable a country with cyber attacks. And you know, certain countries have actually been conducting that already. A lot of people cannot operate without the technology, and a lot of systems, you know, government systems and stuff, can't operate without technology, which then makes us vulnerable. And yeah, not being able to get money out of a bank's one thing, but if you can't turn on your tap because they've completely disabled water supplies with cyber attacks, then that's a whole different deal, is a real big threat.
And so what do you think could be done? What could the government do better?
Lots. I think the government could do lots better. I mean, just from the very basics of our own defence, we're massively undermanned in our defence. But also just education for the people and making people realise this is a serious thing now. Like saying to them, right, make sure you've got a percentage of food to back up just in case you can't go to the shops because the shops will run out of everything. I mean, like when the toilet rolls ran out a couple of years ago in COVID, everyone was fighting over those. Imagine if that was food.
I was reading somewhere where your dad used to not let you wear a hood or earphones.
No.
Yeah.
We weren't allowed to put our hands in our pockets.
You weren't allowed to put your hands, really?
When we was walking down the road, we had to have our hands out of our pockets.
Wow.
So in case we fell over.
So you reckon a lot of that is instilled from him? Yeah.
Yeah. In case we fell over, or if someone went to attack you, you had your hands to fight. He used to actually get us practicing how to get out the house if there was a fire.
Oh, really?
And we weren't allowed to put any lights on. In the middle of the night, we had to feel a way out of the house and stuff. And then he used to have a rope. He used to tie off and he used to make us climb out the window. And we were only like, 7 or 8 years old.
For fuck's sake, Dad, I just want to go to bed.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to watch Tisney.
Hi, my name's Lee Price. I own the Bug Out Shop, the best prep-in and survival shop in the UK. This was my joinery shop before, right, the workshop. And during COVID, with the government restrictions, we were forced to close down for 3 months.
Yeah.
So I thought, right, while we're closed down, I'm going to start something which I could do even if this carried on. Plus, if I wanted my own equipment and supplies, I'd want to pay retail costs.
Of course, yeah.
I'll open up my own shop and get it all wholesale, innit?
Yeah.
Instead. So we sell everything here, from camping supplies to survival gear. This is like shelter equipment, your tarps, hammocks, camping gear. You got navigation. This is freeze-dried food, right? So realistically, it'll never go off. First aid equipment as well, very important when you come to survival, prepping, anything like that, going out in the outdoors, or even if you're stuck at home. Respirators.
Wow.
Right. Oh, this is old. This is not one. I wouldn't sell that.
Yeah.
I do sell respirators, but I always say to people, look, if you ever need a respirator, gas mask, we're in dire straits. We're in deep trouble. Storage.
And have you seen an increase in the community?
Oh yeah. And especially since COVID in 2020, there's a lot more people that get into it now. I mean, I can see a need for this sort of thing. When Russia invaded Ukraine, it went nuts, went mental.
Really,
for months.
Is it a predominantly male practice, or do you come across a lot of women within the community?
Yeah, no, there's a huge amount of women in the UK prepping scene, and they're not, they're not into the bushcraft side of it and survival as much, but more like the home prepping. Yeah, and I'm in the shop all the time.
So what would you say is the biggest sort of misconception or assumption about preppers in the UK that you hear all the time?
Well, again, they think we're doomsday preppers waiting for the end of the world to happen, but it's not. It's just run-of-the-mill folk from every walk of life, just putting things in place that will aid them if something happens to their way of life.
One thing we're interested in is the difference between the American version of prepping and the UK version.
There's some similarities, obviously, but they've got the whole element of gung-ho rifles and ammunition in it. Don't get me wrong, there's a lot of people in Britain who like that sort of thing as well. But in Britain, we're not digging ourselves bunkers underground and waiting for the end of the world. Yeah.
Perfect. That's bang on. Thank you very much, Lee. Thank you very much, Tom.
That was really